You don't know it until it begins to work for you. Many times we say to ourselves, I know it. But trust me, you don't understand it yet until you begin to benefit from its value. 45% of rich people made their monies through businesses. 30% from what that study says got their money through investment. 30%. Only 15% got it through inheritance. 5% through high-paying jobs and 5% through entertainment. So you see that the principal way most people still made a lot of their money through businesses. However, business is not some quick rich scheme, get it fast scheme. Starting a business is not for the faint-hearted. Many people don't think about businesses because they hang too much around employees. If you hang around employees every time, what you'll be hearing is getting good jobs. And there's nothing wrong about getting a good job, but just understand that wages don't make rich, profits do. Not many people will get enough salaries in their lifetime to make a difference in their lives. So understand that there's nothing wrong with being a staff and employee of a well-paying organization, but trust me, if it is possible and you understand businesses, it's better to go that way. Which leads me to the major flaw in our educational system. Even though we begin to see a lot of schools addressing it little by little, most of our schools train us to become employees, to look for jobs. In Nigeria today, how many jobs really exist that we employ all the people graduating? There's not just enough out there. No matter how much prayer and are prayed, will not get the jobs. Why? Because the jobs are not there. But you know, the good part is that some of you have enough skills to create jobs. So what do I need to start? So if your reason for wanting to start a business is I can't work for anybody, just forget it. Don't start a business. If your reason for wanting to start a business is I need my time to myself, forget it. Don't start a business, because when you start a business, you're going to work more than when you were working for somebody. And then when you are working for somebody, by 4:35, you say, I'm closing. Now that you are working for yourself, it's 24 hours. Do you understand that? So you need to get your reason right. It must be passion driven. It must be reason driven. Not, I don't want to work for anybody. Not, I want to have my time to myself. Those are very strong reasons for starting a business, and they will not keep you going when the challenges show up. So let's get the statistics on business mortality rate in the United States. I checked up for Nigeria, and what I saw was that in the first 5 years of most businesses, only about 5 to 10% survive. In other words, in the current climate, in the current business environment, about 90 to 95% of businesses that are started will fail. And I know people that were doing well until they started their business. They took loans, borrowed all the money they could, and the business failed, and now they're in problem. So this is not to scare you, it's to put a balance. Don't go and resign your job immediately, but the best way, if you have a job on hand, is to start with a side hustle. You don't want to put all your eggs into one basket. You don't want to put both legs into what you are not yet sure of. And trust me, most first business owner, if it's your first time of starting a business, the likelihood of failing is very high. Why? There are so many skills you have to acquire, experience you have to gather. You have to navigate a lot of waters. In the United States, in the first 2 years, 20% of businesses fail. In the first 5 years, 45% of businesses will fail. And in the first 10 years, 65% of businesses will fail. That is in the United States. So you need to be aware of the mortality rate. This is not something to be hidden away from you so that you get there and find out. I've seen people come to me who are not aware of the challenges of businesses, and they talk about it as if they have just discovered gold. And it's good to have that level of excitement, because it's what's going to generate the inner passion you need to run. But you need to be aware of the risks by the side. Don't go and sell your father's house to start a business and say, once I do well in the business, I'll bring the money back. I'm not saying you shouldn't take risks, but there are quite a lot of things to know about the risk you are taking. In fact, I've listened to a couple of billionaires, and I remember one I was listening to said, if you go and take a heavy loan to start a business, the guy said, you are a moron. He said, because the likelihood of failing is there. Don't put all your money into it. So I want to tell you about some business, some industries that fail the most. And this it's been tested, they've checked statistics, and some of them will shock you. Number one on the list is restaurants. How many of you have visited a beautiful restaurant, well furnished, nice chefs, the ambience looking great, and there were only about 2 of you eating there? Anybody? Many people are not aware of the cost of running a restaurant. Just say, let me just run a restaurant. Sometimes it's a problem. And this statistics is global. It's global. It's not just Nigeria, that a lot of restaurants do fail. And that's not to say that restaurants don't succeed. It's just that a lot of them fail. Particularly if all you do is eat in. You don't have outdoor catering services, and you don't have complimentary services added that are bringing in the money. Number 2, hotels. And why I'm mentioning this is because if you are a first-time business owner, if you can avoid these ones till much later, even if you want to go into them, it's better. Hotels. One of the reasons they fail is if they have not garnered enough client base, enough customers. Okay, so you could have 100 rooms and the level of occupancy is just 2%. And yet, guess what? The hotel business is one where customers expect 24/7 service. What about power? I mean, I can't go and pay money for a hotel to be sleeping in darkness. Like, you understand what I mean? And their reason is that they don't have enough customers. Sorry, even if I'm the only one. In a hotel, it's like you are at home. You can't do that to me, right? That's one of the reasons they fail. The overhead is huge. Another thing that fails a lot is retail, particularly the brick and mortar, not the e-commerce version. Except you have big money and you have made money in many other places, you see that retail easily fails. Okay? Independent consulting. Just come out and say, I'm now a consultant. Okay, and so what? What's your pedigree? Who knows you? I mean, for example, in the office, you are looking for a consultant. One of the first things they say, who has he consulted for? Where has he worked? Can we see his CV? Is he one of the big 4? There are quite a lot of things that if you are not in that league, it's either you won't get the jobs, or it's only when they need peanuts. They want to give peanuts that they call, okay, just call that one. That's if you get it at all. So at the end of the day, this guy says he's his own CEO, but he's not making anything. And there are many CEOs that it's just glorified title. I'm the CEO. Don't let all the Instagram introduction fool you. I'm the CEO of Rivetti, a corporation institution. Calm down. What do you people do? How much do you make? That's what it comes to. So sometimes it fails.